So right now I want you to push the idea of extremes aversion further with me. Now imagine you had three products: product A, product B and product C. For simplicity, let's assume that product A was the cheapest one and had very unhealthy quality. Product B had an average price and average quality, and product C was the most expensive one and had the highest quality. Now, let's imagine I'm going to ask you this question. Well, sir, here are our products. Which one of them are you going to choose? You might say, well, of course, I'm going to choose the healthiest one, which has the highest quality. Now, let's imagine a different case where I'm going to ask you a different question. Well, sir, by mistake, unfortunately, you bought all of our products. Now, I'm going to ask you, which two of them are you going to cancel? In this case, your answer will be, well, of course, I am going to cancel the first. I'm going to cancel product C because it's the most expensive one. You know, I don't want to see small numbers in my bank account. You see what's happening here? When people are asked with the same exact thing, but the structure is different, they are asked whether they are going to purchase this thing or they are going to cancel. Which one of them are you going to cancel? Then most probably, most of the people are going to say the exact same thing. This is called a choose-reject discrepancy. It happens in real life, and to see this in real life, researchers ran an experiment. Basically, they gathered a lot of people and they divided them into two groups. The first group was told that there are two spots, spot A and spot B. Spot A had a neutral atmosphere, average beaches, average weather, average nightlife, etc. Spot B, on the other hand, was extreme. Lots of sunshine, gorgeous beaches, no nightlife, absolutely no nightlife. And when people were asked and they were told that they had these features, they chose spot B. Then researchers asked the second group. This time the question was a little bit different. They were told that they had a provisional booking in each location and now they have to cancel one of them. And people were equally split between cancelling spot A and spot B. Well, on the other hand, most of the people in the first group chose spot B to go and have rest, have their vacation whatsoever. And this is very relevant with our choose-reject discrepancy, because in this case, when people are asked which one to choose or which one to cancel, most of them were leaning on to option second one, B, spot B. Now imagine that we went to spot B, we had the greatest vacation of our life there. Now, after a couple of months, we are thinking, well, we wanted to have a rest, and you googled and found two new locations to travel, spot C and D. Which one of them are you going to choose, and how are you going to choose? Well, that's the most important question. Are you just going to compare them with each other and going to choose the best one? Well, that's not the case. It doesn't work in real life. What happens is that you are going to compare those new destinations with your previous experience. In our case, it's spot B. You see, people set their expectations depending on their previous experience, whether it was bad or it was good. Well, if it was good, then their expectations is going to be very high. They're going to compare spot C and spot D with spot B. Then they're going to decide where they're going to travel, where they're going to have their vacations. So to test this in real life, researchers again ran an experiment. In this case, they gathered people and asked them whether they were willing to pay for a box of Belgian chocolates. But there was a catch. So what they did was they gathered a lot of people, showed them a box of Belgian chocolates and asked them whether they were willing to pay more than the last 2 digits of their social security number. The last 2 digits of social security numbers were completely random. They did matter in our experiment. Why did they matter? Because after asking that question, there was a follow-up question. From this graph, you can see that people who were asked that whether they were willing to pay more than $55 said that they were going to pay a higher price for a box of chocolates rather than those who were asked that whether they were willing to pay $15. So, in simple words, if let's say the last 2 digits of my social security number are 11, and yeah, I don't have a social security number, okay, but let's assume for simplicity it's 11, and there's a social security number, let's say 89. And we were both in that experiment, and we were asked the same question. Well, I was asked whether I was willing to pay $11. You were asked whether you were willing to pay $89. We both said no. And then we were asked how much are we actually going to pay for those boxes of chocolates. One box of chocolate. Well, I said that it's going to be more than $11, maybe $8 or $9 I'm willing to pay for them. Here's the interesting part. You said that you were going to pay less than $89, but close to 50, around $50, $40 maybe. You see the difference? More than $30. That's really crazy if you think about it. How come those last 2 digits of your social security number are affecting your choice? So what can I say to you? Stay tuned for the next video, and always exercise your brain and improve yourself. Have a nice day.